Welcome to Port Huron, Michigan. I'm Jim Flanagan here on the Gremlins Network. We've got a good game for you here this evening. 9 p.m. scheduled start. Two of the top teams in the world. The number 1 ranked New York Gremlins. They'll be taking on the number 4 ranked Northeast Drillers. This tournament hosting 4 of the top 10 teams, number 1, 3, 4, and 8. So some of the best fast pitch action you will see. Port Huron, Michigan, for those of you geographically challenged, about an hour and 15 minutes northeast of Detroit, up along the St. Clair River, where it connects with Lake Huron, the southern end of Lake Huron. Beautiful scenic landscape just to our right. We can see the water from where we are. This is Pine Grove Ballpark. They've been host to a number of ASA national championships. They can boast a couple of major modified winners. We'll get to the lineups on the field as the home team or the Drillers. The batting order for the Gremlins. Lucio Redemar will lead off and play left field. Jerome Remeke at third base batting second. Benny Noka in center batting third. Eric Ochoa in the cleanup spot at first base. Cole Evans, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Zenon Winters, the DP, batting sixth. Brian Avery, right field, batting seventh. Ladislao Malarczuk at second base, batting eighth. And Nick Mullins, the catcher, will bat ninth. In the circle for the Gremlins will be Jack Besgrove. Let's look at the Drillers defensively for you. Starting out in the outfield, left to right on your TV screen, Dan Mitchell over in left. Tio Migliavaca in center, and Blake Underwood over in right. Around the horn, starting at third, Blaine Milheim at third base. Cam Schiller at shortstop. Both of those a couple of USA national team members, along with second baseman Zach Shaw. And over at first base, Manuel Godoy. Behind the plate, Juan Zara. And doing the pitching, Martin Gonzalez. That's the way the Northeast Drillers shape up defensively, just about ready for the first pitch. These two teams, no strangers to each other, are they? Already in the 2024 season, they faced each other 3 times. Way back in the exhibition season in the Winter Classic in January, they faced each other in the semifinal. Gremlins coming away with a 6-5 win in that one on the strength of an Eric Ochoa home run to tie it in the 7th. And Brian Avery, the winner in that inning. They faced each other twice last weekend in Simcoe, Ontario. Gremlins coming away a winner 8-1 and 9-5. But very well fought battles in those. The Drillers, as we mentioned, were ahead in the Fort Myers game in January. They took an early 4-0 lead against the Gremlins last weekend, only to have the Gremlins come back and win. First pitch just about ready. It's Lucio Redemar. And the first pitch lifted foul down the left field line. Giving chase is Dan Mitchell, but that one's going to fall out of play. Lucio Redemar, a new addition to the Gremlins team last year, had without a doubt the biggest hit in that Simcoe tournament. The Chiefs Challenge, Simcoe, Ontario last weekend. Hit a 3-run homer in the championship game for a come-from-behind win for the New York Gremlins. So Lucio swinging a hot bat for the New York squad right now. That one missing off the plate. Our umpiring crew for this one, Kevin Wallace of Shipman, Illinois. Behind the plate, Brian Smith of Lansing, Michigan down at first. Ed Otterman from Kitchener, Ontario at second base. And Rick Havercraft from Saginaw, Michigan over at third. So a full 4-man umpiring crew in this one. A little bit of rain falling earlier in the evening during the 7 p.m. game, but has gone away, so it looks like clear skies. We'll hope They stay that way for this one. That one's lifted out into deep center field, going back, and all he can do is watch it go. Redemar's got another homer. Teal Migliavaca went back as far as he could and then realized it was out of the ballpark. So Redemar, his last at bat last week, a home run to win that tournament, starts out in similar fashion here with a home run to straightaway center. So the Gremlins on top by a 1-0 score. Stepping in will be Jerome Remeke, the third baseman for the Gremlins. Ball missing away from Gonzalez. That went in for a called strike. The Gremlins with lots of power in that batting order, and pitchers across the league, of course, will have to pitch carefully. But when you start having to watch the pitches, you throw the leadoff batter, a guy like Redemar with power, it just makes the job that much more difficult. Shades of Ohtani. Ohtani, of course, batting in the leadoff spot for the Dodgers with Mookie Betts out. That one taken inside. Last year's regular left fielder was Matthew Waugh, and he was not in Florida in January for that Winter Classic. Lucio Retemar stepped in and has made it very difficult for the skipper, Greg Leather, to keep him out of the lineup. High hopper off the glove of Gonzalez. Quick throw over to first. Nice defensive play by Zach Shaw. Got it on the carom. Watch it on the replay.
Number 89, Ben Inoka.
Just off the glove. Got just enough of it to keep it from going into center field. So Remeke retired on the 1-4-3 putout. And the batter will be Benny Inoka. Inoka came through with a 2-run single in that Sunday semifinal game last weekend against these Drillers in Simcoe. One of the key hits in that game for the Gremlins. Ball downstairs, so the count even at 1-1. Misses off the plate, took a little bit off that one, I think. Inoka with an 8 RBI game in last year's ISC World Tournament on the final day. One of the big blows in that one. That's 8 RBI in one game, not for the day, not for the tournament. One pitch from Gonzalez. Off the plate away, trying to nibble around the edges. Inoka, of course, with great power. You have to respect the power and pitch carefully. Ground ball out to short. Cam Schiller makes easy work of it. Up and over to Manuel Godoy for the 6-3 putout. So 2 outs in the inning.
Number 8, Eric Ochoa.
So the batter for the Gremlins will be Eric Ochoa. Ochoa, a teammate of most of the infield for the Drillers, Milheim, Shaw, or Schiller and Shaw. Drillers head coach, of course, Ron Hackett, head coach of USA national team. Over on the Gremlin side, Greg Hicks, one of Greg Leather's assistants, also an assistant to Ron Hackett on that USA national team. So lots of American faces on the diamond tonight here in Michigan. One count to Ochoa. Lays off the pitch away outside. Pitch from Gonzalez, in for a call, strike on the outside edge. So Gonzalez, after getting nicked by Redemar on the leadoff home run, has pitched the next several hitters very carefully, rightfully so. Swing and a miss by Ochoa late. A little extra velocity from Gonzalez on that pitch. The Gremlins, as we mentioned, the #1 ranked team in the world. They were last year, all of last year, winning the ISC World Tournament. These Drillers finished third, or the group of players making up the Drillers third. Niagara Stompers was the name of the team last year, and then the year before that, most of the players on the Kitchener River Sharks who won the 2022 ISC World Tournament. So different names, but the leadership and the core has been the same. There's a hard ball up the middle, right past Gonzalez. Tried to get a glove up, but the ball was by him, and Ochoa down at first base with a 2-out single.
Number 34, Cole Evans.
So 2 out, and Ochoa down at first base. The batter is Cole Evans, the shortstop for the Gremlins. Evans, one of the best defensive players in the game, but has really come on as a hitter and regarded by many as one of the best hitters in the game to go with the great Leather. Skipper Greg Leather over in the third base box. Greg Hicks in the first base box. Evans, as you see on the screen, from New Zealand, as his Jerome Remeke that we saw earlier in the inning. That one in for a called strike. Redemar from Argentina. Inoka also from New Zealand. And Ochoa from the USA, as we said. So it's an all-international lineup for these Gremlins. Swing and a miss late on that one. Good pitch, good location by Gonzalez as he strikes out Cole Evans to retire the side. But the Gremlins get a run. The leadoff home run by Lucio Redemar will head to the home half of the first inning. The score, New York Gremlins on top, 1-0. Home half of the first inning, we'll get our first look tonight at the Drillers batting order. They'll start things off with Tio Migliavaca, followed by Blaine Milheim. Cam Schiller hitting third. Marshall Cronk in the cleanup spot. Manuel Godoy in the 5 spot. Blake Underwood 6 spot. Juan Zara batting 7th. Dan Mitchell 8th. And Zach Shaw rounding it out in the 9 spot. Migliavaca, the brother of a New York Gremlin, Pablo Migliavaca. From Argentina are the brothers. Shows bunt but pulls back. In the circle, Jack Besgrove, who has been in a world of his own of late. Closed out the WBSC World Qualifier for Australia, just about carrying them to the finish line. Got them one of 2 berths in next year's World Cup, and then came out and continued that form in last week's tournament in Simcoe, picking up the win with 9 consecutive hitters to close out the championship game against Hill United. That went in for a called strike, good over the top drop. Late movement on his pitches, one of the keys for Jack Besgrove. Nick Mullins, the veteran catcher, bringing the young 20-year-old along. Defensively for the Gremlins, it's Remeke at third and Ochoa at the other corner on first. Evans and Malarzuk up the middle at short and second. In for a call strike on the inside part of the plate. The outfield for the Gremlins, Redemar in left, Inoka in center, and Brian Avery over in right field. Foul tip back to the screen. Just a piece of it got Tio. On deck, Blaine Milheim, one of the hottest hitters of late for these Drillers, had a couple of home runs in last weekend's Simcoe tournament. Swing and a miss on the rise ball, a good one. Good elevation on the pitch by Besgrove.
Number 00, Blaine Milheim.
So the first out of the inning recorded by Besgrove. That'll bring up Blaine Milheim. Little changeup off the outside part of the plate, taken for a ball. Milheim at one time wore the New York Gremlins uniform about 4 years ago or so, but has really come into his own the last 3 years. As we mentioned, Blaine, a member of the USA national team, as is the fellow on deck, Cam Schiller. So a good 1-2 punch, or 2-3 punch there in the order for the Drillers. In for a call. Strike, says Kevin Wallace, our home plate umpire. Little bit of a breeze we can feel coming off the water just across the street from the ballpark. Line to center field, base hit. And Milheim continues this hot hitting against the Gremlins. He's aboard with 1 out, and that'll bring up Cam Schiller.
Batting third, number 3, Cam Schiller.
Looked like Besgrove got a little bit too much of the plate with that one. Milheim says thank you and lines one to center for the base hit. Swinging a foul, tip straight back. Mullen having a bit of a chat with our home plate umpire, maybe telling him, I've got you. Won't let that ball get you. So 0-1, the count on Schiller. Swing and a miss late on that one. Came inside with the pitch, did Besgrove. This is a 9 o'clock p.m. broadcast. 2 games earlier on the evening at 5 and 7. Those are in the books. More games tomorrow and Sunday. Championship game going off at noon on Sunday. We'll be on the air for 2 more broadcasts, 12 and 4 tomorrow, 9 and 12 on Sunday. Meanwhile, Schiller down on strike, swinging against Jack Besgrove. Swing and a miss late on that one. Besgrove in double digits for strikeouts almost every game he has pitched of late. Had 3 games with 15 or more in the World Cup qualifier. Hit double digits a couple of times last weekend at the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe, and already 2 here in the first inning. Changed up a good one, swing and a miss. Sliding in safely is Milheim. Looked like one of those pitches where Kronk was going to protect him one way or the other. It was a good changeup, but swinging through it made it a little bit more difficult for Mullins, and Milheim finds himself down at second base representing the potential tying run with Marshall Kronk at the plate. Kronk, among the better hitters in the game, played a big part in Australia's 2022 World Cup gold medal. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball. So Besgrove dials it up when he needs it, gets the strikeout, and the side retired. Milheim stranded at second. We played 1. The score, New York Gremlins 1. And the Northeast Drillers, nothing. We'll be back with more great action right after this. Top half of the second inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 6, 7, 8. That's Zenon Winters, Brian Avery, and Ladislav Malarczuk. Zenon swinging a good bat last weekend at the Chiefs Challenge, grabbed himself a handful of RBIs, a couple in key spots, helping the Gremlins win that tournament. with their perfect 6-0 record. Gremlins actually trailed in both games on Sunday, trailed to these drillers in the semifinal game, and then fell behind 5-1 early against the number 2 ranked Hill United Chiefs. Scores eventually tied at 5. The Chiefs took a 6-5 lead before Redemar came through with a 3-run homer to win it, but a seesaw battle. So no easy opponents last week in that Sunday playoff round for the Gremlins. And they start right back off here with the Drillers, the number 4 ranked team in the world. Grounder foul up along the right side. Port Huron, Michigan is where we are this evening. Seems like Thomas Edison has been following us around this year. Of course, down in Florida, we talked about Edison. Made his home in Fort Myers, the home of the Winter Classic in January. And we come here to Port Huron, Michigan, find out that Thomas Edison spent part of his childhood, his formative years from age 7 to 17 right here in Port Huron. Edison was what they called a news butcher. He would sell newspapers, candy, and other sundries on the trains that ran through. Started his inventing early. Some of the precursors for the printing press. Was printing his own newspaper on the train while still in grammar school. That one's inside, almost hits Winters. So Zenon will take a spot down at first base. And the batter will be Brian Avery. Avery with a big 3-run homer against these Drillers last week in that Chiefs challenge. One of the longest hit balls of the weekend, cleared the fence, cleared the perimeter fence, and found a home under a tree beyond them all. Right down the heart of Main Street with that one. Good pitch by Gonzalez. Avery, as we mentioned, had the walk-off hit to beat these Drillers in the semifinal in that exhibition match down in Fort Myers, Florida in January. Looks at one off the outside edge, shakes his head a bit as if to say no, not a pitch he wanted in any event. Winters, the veteran down at first, still runs well. One of those players that just works at physical conditioning throughout the year, and it shows the reason he's able to compete with these younger players. Comes inside and misses with that one. So 2-2 to Avery. Line to right field. That's going to be in for a base hit. To the left of Jack Shaw it went. Zenon Winters will move up 60 feet. So it's Winters at second and Brian Avery down at first base. Still nobody out. And here's Malarczuk. Good piece of hitting by Avery. The ball was away Avery just going to right field with it. And the Gremlins, so once again, with a scoring opportunity with Winters down at second base. Here's Malarczuk. Missing inside. The body language from Gonzalez showing a little bit of frustration, trying to nibble around the edges. Sometimes a leadoff home run like Redemar's in the first can change your approach to the rest of the game. That one's in for a called strike. Away from the lefty Malarczuk. Up in the bullpen down on the left side, looks like Marshall Cronk, one of their other hurlers. They've got Cronk, Mata, and Gonzalez, but it's Cronk up throwing right now. Just a leisurely pace that Cronk is throwing at. Doesn't look like they're working to try and get him into the game right away, but up and ready should the call be made. Defense for the Drillers straight away. In for a called strike, same location, working Ladislav Malarczuk away on the outside edge. Nick Mullins will be next. In for a called strike. So Gonzalez pounds the same location 3 times, so down goes Malarczuk, 1 out in the inning, still 2 aboard. And it'll be Nick Mullins to get a chance to bring home another run. Good frame job by catcher Juan Zara on that third strike. Good location by Gonzalez. Misses down with that one on Mullins. In for a called strike. Misses inside again on Mullins. Same spot, same result. 3-1 now on Mullins. Redemar would be next. Will be next. High pop fly in the infield. Going back is Shaw. Couple 3 steps onto the grass, backs up to make the catch. So out number 2 recorded. And it will be the aforementioned Lucio Redemar coming on for the Gremlins with 2 outs.
Number 21, Lucio Redemar.
So the Gremlins get a couple aboard right away with nobody out, then a strikeout and a pop out for Martin Gonzalez, now facing Redemar, who is responsible for the only run in this ball game. Redemar with a home run to straightaway center field to start off the action tonight. Foul tip in front of the plate. Just off the plate outside. Same place he was working Malarzuk. Redemar lays off. Redemar comes into this tournament 5 for 12. So a crispy .437 batting average. Among the team leaders, in fact, he is the team leader in RBI with 7. All those coming in last week's tournament. So small sample size, of course, but early in the season for these Gremlins. This is their second tournament of the year. 6 games under their belt before tonight. Grounder foul up along the right side. Jerome Remeke among the RBI leaders, as he always is. But at the moment, Lucio with 1 more than Jerome. Grounder foul. It gets away from Godoy at first base. Everybody moves up. Now coming to home and standing up. He'll be tagged out. Is Zenon Winters. Ball got away from Godoy, but they recovered nicely. Here, watch on the replay. The ball went back to the screen. Redemar off to the races. And Zenon Winter looked at a scoring opportunity. Says, why not? And trying to score. But the ball coming back in quicker than expected. So the side retire. The Gremlins do not score. To the home half of the second we go. Still 1-0 Gremlins over the Northeast Drillers. We'll be back with more great action after this. Home half of the second for the Drillers. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. Godoy, Underwood, and Zara. Dan Mitchell would follow if we get that far. Still a 1-0 ball game. Just the home run by Redemar, the difference in this one. Grounder foul up along the right side. Quite a couple of years for young Jack Besgrove. Junior WBSC gold medal for Australia. Senior WBSC gold medal. Topped that off with an ISC world title last year. And showing a bit of why. Godoy down on strikes for the first out.
Number 20, Blake Underwood.
Third strikeout of the game for Jack Besgrove. Here's Blake Underwood for the Drillers. Way inside. Ochoa over at first, a good 3-4 steps off the line against the right-hand Underwood. Remeke just a step or two off the line at third. Upstairs, misses for a ball. The outfield straight away for the most part, although Avery a little closer to the line in right field. So the gap, if any, is in right center field against Underwood. Part of that, of course, dictated by Jack Besgrove and the way he pitches. Good velocity. There's a liner to short. Cole Evans reaches out and makes the catch for out number 2. Good hard hit ball, but right at Cole Evans. Watch on the replay. Had to go down to get it, but comes up with the catch. So 2 quick outs for Jack Besgrove. And the catcher, Juan Zara, will step to the plate. Little change in there for a called strike. Not a pitch that Jack throws as often as, say, his teammate Pablo Migliavaca, but he will show it and use it effectively. There it is again, a little over the top. Bottom falling out of that one, not much you can do with it, especially if you're out on your front foot. Redemar playing shallower in left field than is Inoka and Avery in center and right. Line foul just about takes out some of our fans still out here as we head towards the 10 o'clock hour here in Port Huron. Temperatures have dropped a bit since earlier in the evening, so a hardy bunch still hanging around to watch some great fast pitch out here with the Gremlins and the Drillers. Straight back to the screen, got just a piece of that one. Good elevation on the rise from Besgrove. Zara almost catching up with that one. So a ball and 2 strikes on Juan Zara, 2 out in the inning. Besgrove trying to get his team back to the dugout and hitting. Grounder foul up off the screen on the right side. Late on that pitch was Zara. Talk to the hitters after they face Besgrove. They will tell you the ball gets on them in a hurry. Lots of late movement. Two to Zara. Little squibber out to second base. It'll be Malarczuk. Over to Ochoa for the 4-3 put out. Looked like a little bit of a spinner over to the second base bag. 3 up and down for the Drillers in the second. We'll head to the top of the third. Still 1-0 New York Gremlins on top over the Northeast Drillers. You're watching the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll be back with more great action. Don't go away. Top half of the third inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order. That'll be Jerome Remeke, Benny Inoka, and Eric Ochoa. Cole Evans would follow them if we get that far. The third out of the prior inning, tag out at the plate. Zenon Winters cut down after the ball got away at first base on the ball hit by Redemar, but that's the way the inning ended. So clean slate here, 2, 3, and 4. Defense for Remeke straight away. Great power. Looks at one upstairs for a ball. I mentioned Remeke among the RBI leaders, trailing Redemar by just one, but overlooked Eric Ochoa, who is actually the leader at the moment. He has 8, Redemar 7, Remeke and Zenon Winters with 6 each. So the run producers in that group of hitters. And he takes that one off the plate outside for ball 4.
Number 89, Ben Inoka.
That'll bring Benny Inoka to the plate. Benny lays off the high pitch upstairs for a ball. Benny off to a bit of a slow start last weekend, but did have a number of RBI, key RBI, and also drew 3 walks in the process. So the average not quite where it usually is, but again, small sample size, just one tournament, 6 games, so hard to measure. Inoka, the veteran, we've seen enough of him over the years to know exactly what he can do. Swing and a miss on the rise ball. Off the plate, taken for a ball downstairs. Two balls and 2 strikes on Ben Inoka. Remeke looking on from first base. Greg Hicks, the coach over there in the box. Strike 3 called, and Inoka down on strikes. Looks like the ball in the outer half of the edge. Inoka didn't think so, didn't swing. We'll watch the replay and let you be the judge. Pretty good frame right there, in for a called strike. Here's Ochoa. So Ochoa, the official RBI leader, at least at the moment. Although I guess with the home run, Redemar right back even with 8. High hopper to second. Zach Shaw will tag Remeke, throw to first. Not in time as Ochoa hustling down the line. Looked like they were going to make an easy 2. Watch the replay, you'll see it. Remeke stopped, so Shaw had to go to him to tag him. Gave Ochoa just enough time to get down to first base. So some good heads up base running by Jerome Remeke. Conference around the circle with our umpiring crew. Again, Kevin Wallace, our home plate umpire, Brian Smith at first, Ed Otterman at second, and Rick Havercroft at third base, having a discussion about that last call. We'll wait, see what they're talking about or deciding. No change, I think, in the play. Might have been if Remeke maybe declared out for stopping where he did on the bases or interfering somehow. But regardless, no change in the ruling. Ochoa down at first base. Cole Evans will step in now. Ball upstairs. They're going to appeal it. The call at first base by umpire Smith says no, he didn't go. Little slow roller to short. Schiller shovels over to second to Shaw. They get the out and the side retired. Evans aboard on the fielder's choice. No runs for the Gremlins. Still 1-0 on top. We'll be back with more great action right after this. Home half of the third inning for the Drillers will be in the 8-9-1 spots in the batting order. Besgrove still going through the batting order. Mitchell in the 8th spot, Shaw in the 9th, and then back to the top of the shop to Tio Migliavaca. Gonzalez giving up the leadoff home run to Redemar, but has been effective in getting outs when he needed them and getting some help from the defense of the Drillers, keeping the score right there at 1. In for a called strike. Good rise ball on the outside part of the plate, away from the lefty Mitchell. Swing and a miss late on that one is Mitchell. Mitchell hailing from Canada, which is literally a stone's throw from where we sit here in Port Huron. On the other side of the water is Sarnia, and that's in Canada. The Blue Water Bridge off in the distance, the route people take to go to and from. Lots of cars on that bridge all day long today, going back and forth between the USA and Canada. When you exit Port Huron, you literally are taking the last exit to stay in the USA. If you stayed in the left lane, you'd wind up in Canada. Swing and a miss late on that one. Besgrove turns up the dial and strikes out Mitchell. Strikeout number 4 for the young left-hander. little extra oomph on that last pitch. You hear it popping in Nick Mullen's glove. Here's second baseman Zach Shaw. Foul tip to the screen. Shaw, one of the trio of infielders on this Drillers team that play on the USA national team. Milheim at third, Schiller at short, and Shaw at second tonight. Some of USA's finest. Laced down the right field line, just about takes out the Driller first base coach. Good evasive action down there. Want to take a moment and say a quick hello and thank you to Bruce Tansky, the New York Gremlins sponsor, responsible not only for the team on the field, but responsible for these broadcasts on the Gremlins network. The reason you're able to sit at home or wherever you may be tonight and watch the ball games. Swinging a foul tip, and Shaw down on strikes. Gremlins. So back to the top of the order we go for the Drillers. 2 quick strikeouts. 4 and 5 on the night for Besgrove. Back to Tio Migliavaca. Migliavaca, a strikeout victim, swinging in his first trip to the plate. That one way upstairs. Gremlin skipper Greg Leather was up at the lake house to visit Mr. Tansky yesterday, delivering the very large trophy, the ISC World Championship trophy from last year. If you're on Facebook, a good photo of them. And the trophy case, or room, if you will. All the trophies that the Gremlins have produced for Mr. Tansky. 3 ISC World titles, 8 USA Softball ASA national titles. And Mr. Tansky also holds a major modified championship trophy up there. A member of the ASA Hall of Fame is Bruce Tansky, so we say our thank you and hello to him if he's out watching tonight. If he doesn't catch the game this evening, due to the late hour, I imagine he'll tune in over the weekend. So thank you, Bruce, for all you do for the team and for the game of men's fast pitch. So a few wide ones from Besgrove. It's a 3-1 count now on Migliavaca. And stays just upstairs. So Migliavaca breaks the string.
Number 00, Blaine Milheim.
Besgrove had retired 6 in a row up to that point. Migliavaca aboard with a 2-out walk. And it'll be Blaine Milheim. Milheim had the single back through the box in his first trip to the plate. So 1 for 1 on the night. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball. If you see on the replay, Besgrove really leaning underneath that rise ball. If not that pitch, you'll see it again. Really getting underneath it. Line foul over on the right side. That one's going to be out of play. Good news and bad news here in Port Huron tonight. Bad news is hard to find a parking spot. Good news, if you had to walk a ways, you stayed out of foul ball territory because there's a whole row of cars right on the back side of first base that are prime targets. Big signs warning drivers maybe park somewhere else, foul ball territory. Swing and a miss on that one. Down on strikes goes Milheim. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Jack Besgrove. To the top of the 4th we go. Still 1-0 New York Gremlins on top of the Northeast Drillers. We'll be back with more great action from Port Huron, Michigan. Top half of the fourth inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. That means Zenon Winters, Brian Avery, and Ladislao Malarzuk. Zenon came into the weekend with an eye-popping .583 batting average. He was 7 for 12 last week in the Chiefs Challenge tournament in Simcoe, Ontario. Swing and a miss late on the pitch from Gonzalez. Gonzalez has really settled in well after the leadoff home run by Redemar, pitching to the edges of the plate, trying to stay out of harm's way with this powerful New York Gremlin lineup. Ball away from Zinners. He lays off. An aggressive hitter is Winters, looking for a pitch he can drive somewhere. Comes inside, does Gonzalez. That went in for a called strike. Good location. Godoy right on the bag over at first base for the left-hander Winters. Slow grounder to Shaw. Shaw backhands it, flips over to Godoy on the 4-3 putout, 1 out.
Number 33, Brian Avery.
Here's Brian Avery. Brian singled his first trip to the plate. Got a pitch away and just went to right field with it. Line drive, base hit. We'll see how Gonzalez works to him in this at bat. Upstairs with a rise ball, misses. Ladislao Malarzuk will be next. In for a called strike on the outside edge. The home run he hit last week that went forever and a day, a pull home run to left field, but he will use all of the field. As you saw, there's a foul tip back to the screen. I think that's one of the things that makes Brian so successful is he doesn't try and do more with a pitch than the location or the pitch allows. He will size up the pitch and hit it where it's thrown. Good look at Gonzalez out there in the circle. Off the plate outside, away. The battery for the Drillers, of course, from Argentina. Juan Zara behind the plate and Martin Gonzalez in the pitcher's circle. Missing downstairs, so the count runs to full, 3-2 on Brian Avery. Off the plate outside, Gonzalez with his hands apart to the plate umpire saying he thought it was there. Watch the replay, you decide. Off the plate, nice frame by Zara to bring it back, but the ball away and the call correct. Down to first goes Avery and Laddie Malarzuk at the plate. High hopper over to the third baseline. They're going to let it roll. Blaine Milheim comes over and grabs it to make sure it didn't wander back over. Skipper Greg Leather over in the third base box having a bit of a chuckle with Milheim. Greg, of course, a former USA national team head coach, so knows Blaine very well. Here's Malarczuk with that split hand grip. High hop foul. It'll be out of play up and over where we're sitting behind home plate. Grounder up along the first baseline. Godoy will grab it, step on the bag for the out. Looks up to second to watch Avery slide in. So the out recorded, 60 feet, moves up, does Avery. Scoring position gives Nick Mullins a chance to drive in a run here in the fourth. So 3 unassisted on Malarczuk if you're keeping score with us at home. And if you're not, why not? Just downstairs a little bit. 2 more broadcasts tomorrow, 12 and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 and noon on Sunday for the playoff round. In for a called strike. Good over the top drop from Gonzalez. Laced into center field, coming around third and holding is Avery. Not an especially hard hit ball, but it found a home. Watch it on the replay, you'll see. So credit Mullins with a single, sends Avery over to third. There it is. Avery having to wait for the ball to get by before he could continue running. But at third, he finds himself. So runners at the corners. And it'll be Lucio Redemar coming up to the plate, back to the top of the order for the Gremlins. And just one out. Inside edge for a called strike on Redemar. Redemar with the home run, and then the ball hit down in the infield. He wound up safe on the overthrow at first base, but the Drillers got the third out of the inning. Zenon Winters coming around third, trying to take advantage of a scoring opportunity, but tagged out at the plate. So the Drillers have yet to retire Redemar. Looks at one on the inside edge for a called strike. Good location up under the hands. Watch it here on the replay. Got him just on the inside edge. Not much you can do with that pitch. Hard to get on top of a ball in that vicinity. Off on the pitch, the throw down to Schiller. Schiller cuts it off, throws to third, back in safely is Avery. Now down to second base safely. Watch the replay, you'll see it. Schiller comes and cuts the ball off, cuts off the throw, keeping an eye on the runner, wants to make sure Avery doesn't go anywhere. And it's Malarczuk that winds up down at second base. Or excuse me, that's a pinch runner for Mullins. Looks like Tane didn't get a report on that. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, it is Malarczuk down at second base. He was running, I believe, on the 2-out catcher rule. Mullins getting a chance to put the gear on, so the last out would have been Malarczuk. So he was the runner and slides in safely at second. So second and third, Redemar trying to bring home a couple more. Runs have been hard to come by all night for both of these clubs. Redemar with a golden opportunity, or maybe the best chance of the ball game. High pop-up, shallow left field. Coming on is Mitchell, and Mitchell makes the catch. Thought Schiller might go out and try and make the catch, but ball was deep enough, and Miller had a good head start on it, so he makes the catch coming on. The Gremlins score 2. To the home half of the fourth we go. Still 1-0 Gremlins on top of the Drillers. We'll be back with more from Port Huron, Michigan. Home half of the fourth inning for the Drillers. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 in their batting order. That means starting off with Cam Schiller, Marshall Cronk, and Manuel Godoy, the heart of this Driller batting order, as they try and get something going against Jack Besgrove. Besgrove with 6 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. No runs surrendered. Swing and a miss late on the pitch inside. We are told the weatherman is predicting rain or possible rain tomorrow, so the game times for Saturday are being moved up 1 hour earlier. So instead of 10, 12, 2, and so forth, they'll get started at 9 a.m. There's a little shallow fly ball out to Redemar in left field. Comes over to the foul line, makes the catch for out number 1. That means our broadcast, instead of going off at 12 and 4, will be an hour earlier at 11 and 3. So mark that on your calendar for tomorrow if you plan to be with us. Hope you can. We'll be with you right on through Sunday's championship game, and we'll keep an eye on the weather as well. Thunderstorms, one of the reports said. Marshall Cronk at the plate, good power. Strikeout victim his first time up, swinging. Good changeup on the outside edge for a called strike. Not a pitch Cronk was looking for or perhaps even wanted. Marshall, one of the best power hitters on this Driller team, looking for something he can drive One swing of the bat trying to get his team even. No easy task against young Jack Besgrove. Hard grounder into center field to the left of Cole Evans. Good piece of hitting by Marshall Cronk. He's aboard with 1 out. And Manuel Godoy will be the batter.
Number 52, Manuel Godoy.
There you see it on the replay, that open stance. Stays behind the ball, just finds a hole up the middle. Marshall coming off the field for a pinch runner. And that looks to be Edgar Navarro. Edgar Navarro coming on to run for Marshall Cronk.
Into the game. To run for Cronk, number 2, Edgar Navarro.
Marshall can do many things in the game. Pitcher, hitter. Does very well at both. Not asked to run bases here. Skipper Ron Hackett, a chance to use one of his speedy substitutes, now down at first base. Here's Godoy. Foul tip to the screen. Defense for the Gremlins. Inoka shaded a little bit towards right field. Everybody else close and straight away. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball. Good elevation, good velocity on that pitch from Besgrove. Down on the right field line, looks like Kuba Ositka doing a little bit of throwing, but I think that's all it is down there. Little one hopper. Jack Besgrove makes a nice play going to his left, picks it up and flips over to Ochoa, smiling along the way.
Number 20, Blake Underwood.
Watch the replay, you'll see not an easy play. It was hit to the other side, had to flip it over to Ochoa to get the out. Meanwhile, down to second goes Navarro. He is the potential tying run. And the batter, Blake Underwood. 2 outs in the inning with a chance to tie. Ball gets away from Mullen, down in the dirt, down to third goes Navarro. So he helps himself to 60 feet of real estate. Tying run now just 60 feet away. Watch the replay. Mullins did a good job of keeping it in front, but squirted through the wickets after he knocked the wild pitch down. So Navarro at third. Jack Besgrove trying to get the final out of the inning, get out of this. Little slow roller up along first, foul. Underwood in his first trip to the plate hit that line out to Cole Evans. Ball high upstairs. If you're a Driller fan and wondering who's next, it's Juan Zara waiting on deck. Right now, though, the plate at the game, as is Underwood against Besgrove. Way inside upstairs. Looked like he tried to put a little bit extra on that one, a little bit too much up and out of the zone. So 3-1 now to Underwood. Foul tip. That one winds up on top of the Gremlins dugout. So the count full on Blake Underwood. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Navarro down at third base. Potential tying run. Besgrove trying to close it out here. Ground ball, two-hopper to Malarzuk, over to Ochoa. Side retired. Score stays 1-0 Gremlins through 4. We'll be back with more from the Port Huron, Michigan tournament. You're watching the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. Top of the 5th inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. That's Remeke, Inoka, and Ochoa. The lone run of the ball game, if you joined us late, Lucio Retamar, home run to straightaway center to start off the ball game. That is the sum total of all the scoring. Lots of opportunities on both sides, but neither team has been able to cash in another run. Both starters still in the game. Jack Besgrove for the Gremlins. He has 6 strikeouts through 4. And Martin Gonzalez still in the game for the Drillers. In for a called strike. One of the better matchups on the schedule in this tournament. Number 1 ranked Gremlins, number 4 ranked Drillers. We saw number 3 ranked Bear Creek Express. They played in the 7 o'clock game earlier tonight. Just off the plate outside. The Gremlins, of course, at this point would dearly like to add an insurance run. Heart of the order coming up right now, capable of going yard. Remeke looking like that's exactly what he has in mind here, but lays off and takes the walk. So good patience by Jerome. Second time he has reached base on a walk. And looks like Tane Mumu, fellow New Zealander, will take his place at first base. And the second batter in the inning will be Inoka, also from New Zealand. So we're at the Kiwi portion of the inning. Tane Mumu with great speed down at first base. So both managers putting their speed in play. Last inning it was Hackett using Navarro. Navarro got as far as third, didn't score. Inoka comes up empty on the swinging strike. Skipper Greg Leather going through the signs over in the third base box. Tane Mumu looking over. We'll see if they have something on or see if they turn him loose. In for a called strike on the outside part of the plate. So Gonzalez using the rise ball and then coming back with one away, a little bit of a drop, trying to mix up The pitch is on Inoka. Foul tip. Benny just missed that one inside. Maybe not a strike, but he had swing in mind. Got a pretty good piece of it. Foul tip. Staying alive. Upstairs for a ball. Not much of a breeze through here. There was some earlier, but it's pretty calm at the moment, and the air a little cooler now, has that sort of heavy night air feel to it. As we said, we're right off the waterway here under the Blue Water Bridge. Swing and a miss. Inoka down on strikes.
Number 8, Eric Ochoa.
So here's Eric Ochoa. Ochoa had a single up the middle in his first trip to the plate. Eric with that wide open stance. Lays off on the race to the races is Mumu, but he's tagged out. 2-6 on the put out. Nice throw by Zara. Watch on the replay. So the Gremlins taking a bit of a chance trying to get Mumu into scoring position, but unable to. Base is now clear for Eric Ochoa. Way inside, almost hits Ochoa. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball away. Great location from Gonzalez. You have to tip your cap to Gonzalez. He has really settled in against this powerful New York Gremlin lineup ever since that leadoff home run. Sometimes you see a home run hit right off the bat. You think you're going to have your way with a pitcher, but the Gremlins have not been able to put runs on the board this evening. A ball, 2 strikes on Eric Ochoa. 2 out in the inning. We're in the 5th, top of the 5th. Off the plate away. So Gonzalez trying to use all of the plate, working that one away from the lefty Ochoa. Foul tip off the screen. Ochoa having a pretty good look at that pitch. Just missed. Cole Evans on deck if we get that far. Right now, Ochoa batting with nobody aboard and 2 outs. Hard grounder to second. Zach Shaw. Backhand comes up with it over to Godoy for the out. 4-3 on the put out. Gremlins get a runner aboard, but thrown out at second. They do not score. We'll head to the home half of the 5th inning. And it is still 1-0 New York over the Drillers. Home half of the fifth inning from the Port Huron, Michigan tournament. 7-8-9 means Zara, followed by Mitchell and Shaw. Trying to get something going for the Drillers. No easy task against Jack Besgrove. 6 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. Got a runner as far as third base last inning. The pinch runner Navarro, but unable to cash it in. So scarcity of runs on both sides of the field, Gremlins and the Drillers. We've got a great game going on. 1-0. Gremlins on top into the fifth. Besgrove on the outside part of the plate. Two strikeouts in the first inning for Besgrove, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and none in the fourth. Uncharacteristic inning, but Zara starts it off with a strikeout. So the tally now at 7, if you're counting, and of course we are. Here's Dan Mitchell. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. That of the swinging variety. Really popping the leather. You can hear it all the way up here. We're right behind home plate, maybe 4 or 5 rows back of home plate. Best seat in the house, and happy to share it with you at home. Hope you're enjoying the ball game so far. Right on the outside edge as he continues to pop the leather of Nick Mullins. Quickly ahead on Mitchell, 0-2. Way upstairs, little extra tried to put on that one. Swing and a miss downstairs with that one. So up and then down. Mitchell down on strikes for the second time. Strikeout number 8 on the night for Besgrove. And it'll be Zach Shaw stepping in. Zach also a strikeout victim. There you see on the replay. Impossible location to hit. Down and in on Mitchell. And just for good measure, the changeup in for a called strike, as if you need it. His rise and his drop, very crisp, good velocity on both. But the change will keep them off balance. This is away with the ball. Both starters, Besgrove and Gonzalez, still in the game, both pitching whale of a ball game. Hard grounder to first, it'll be foul. Coming up on the 11 o'clock hour, if you joined us late or didn't hear, they're moving up all of the games tomorrow by 1 hour. So the games will start an hour earlier than previously scheduled. That due to anticipated rain and possible thunderstorms. They want to try and get started early. So instead of 10, 12, 2, 4, and so forth, they'll get started at 9 a.m. So it'll be 9, 11, 1, 3, and so forth. Adjust your watch schedules accordingly. In for a called strike. So a quick inning for Jack Besgrove. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. The last of the looking variety. He's got 9 now through 5. We head to the top of the 6th. Still 1-0 Gremlins over the Drillers. Top of the 6th inning for the Gremlins. They'll send up 5, 6, and 7. That's Evans, Winters, and Avery trying to add an insurance run. Not sure if you could see it, but at the start of this inning, or just before the start of the inning, the Gremlins all together outside the dugout. Skipper Greg Leather having a word with his team. Not a long conversation, but maybe a little extra effort being put in play for the Gremlins. Maybe saying Jack has done his part. 9 strikeouts through 5 innings. Let's get him a run. Let's get him an insurance run. Marshall Cronk back up on the sideline, doing a little light toss in case. Evans, a swinging strikeout his first time to the plate. Reached on a fielder's choice last time up. Marshall Cronk down on the side throwing with a jacket on, as many of the other players have donned the jackets as the temperatures drop. The calendar may say summer, but the temperatures say otherwise. 2 layers on your broadcaster here, 2 jackets to stay warm. Hard hopper down to third. Milheim can't come up with it. Looks like he may have gotten hurt on the play. We'll look at a replay. I'm not sure if it hit him or if he just came up awkwardly. Kind of hard to tell there. Regardless, on at first base is Evans. They have a conference down there, sort of limping around. I think it may have hit him on the knee, or maybe just stepped awkwardly trying to come up with the ball. Definitely some discomfort for Blaine Milheim. Not sure if he will stay in the game. Looks like he may be coming out of the game. Catcher Wanzara walking back towards the dugout with him. See if we can get an injury report at some point, but definitely some discomfort down there, and I think they're going to put in a substitute to make sure they've got somebody that can make plays down there. Hate to see that early in the tournament. Good ball player like Blaine Milheim, but we'll see if we can get an injury report and update you.
Into the ballgame, number 21, Jordan Solari.
So for the Drillers, and in particular for Blaine Milheim, it looks like Jordan Solario over at third base. So Solario in place of Milheim. It is Zenon Winters at the plate, and Cole Evans down at first base with a potential insurance run. Swing and a miss on the rise ball. Solario playing way off the bag at third against the left-hander Winters. Everybody else straight away. Guarding the line at first is Godoy. He's literally standing right in front of the bag. Just enough to leave Cole Evans a lane to run in down at first base. Skipper Greg Leather running through the signs at third. Off the plate away, taken for a ball. Foul tip off the screen on the left side. Looked like a pitch Zenon wanted. Got a pretty good piece of it. Looked like a pitch he wanted to drive. Showing a little bit of frustration that he didn't, but had a pretty good hack at it. Hard grounder to second. Zach Shaw picks it up cleanly over to Schiller. Back to first, double play. And now we've got another player down on the side, this time a Gremlin. Zenon going down to first base hard. Took a little bit of a tumble. Let's watch the replay. Hard hit ball. Shaw making a nice play over to Schiller, and a nice turn by Schiller. And it looked like Zenon either caught a foot or caught the bag going by. Being attended to by the Gremlins trainer down there now, and skipper Greg Leather looking on with a bit of concern. So Milhine out of the game with the injury. We'll wait and see what they say about Zenon. Hopefully not. And Zenon's going to limp back to the dugout. He's on his own, but looks like he may have turned the ankle. So 2 outs recorded on the play. Brian Avery will be the batter for the Gremlins. Good defensive play by the middle infielders, Zach Shaw and Cam Schiller for the Drillers, turning that double play. 2 of the best shortstops in the game in this ball game. Evans for the Gremlins and Cam Schiller, USA national team shortstop, making some nice defensive plays, that one included. Tries to check his swing, didn't. In for a strike. Solario still way off the bag at third. Doesn't have to worry about a runner at this point. Suppose the worst that happens is if Avery pulls the ball down the line, he's at second with a double. But shaded, I would say a good at least six steps off the bag from third. Almost the way Nick Shales plays third at times, looking like an extra shortstop at times. Not your conventional defensive positioning, but sometimes it works. Foul tip in the dirt. Looked like that one may have taken a piece of Avery on the swing, maybe off his foot. We're at that point in the evening. It's getting late. It's getting cold. Everyone trying to do a little bit extra, try and get that extra. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes. Gonzalez, a good inning on his part. To the home half of the sixth we go. Still 1-0 Gremlins in this 9 p.m. opener on Friday night from the Port Huron, Michigan tournament. We'll be back with the home half of the sixth. Don't go away. Home half of the 6th inning for the Drillers. Back to the top of the shop. Teo Migliavaca, followed by Blaine Milheim's substitute, Joden Solorio. And then Cam Schiller. Right now it's Migliavaca at the plate. In for a called strike. 6 outs is all the Gremlins need. 6 outs is all the Drillers have left to try to scratch for a run to tie it or do more. Upstairs, taken for a ball. This is Migliavaca's 3rd at-bat of the ball game. Struck out swinging back in the 1st, walked in the 3rd. Change up a good one. Migliavaca doing a little spin all the way around on that one. He swung so hard. Smiling as he did, as if to say, you fooled me. Good contact hitter is Teo. Just trying to put something in play, find the grass somewhere. Off the plate, away, taken for a ball. Swing and a foul tip over out of play on the left side. So the count even at 2-2 on Migliavaca. Solorio and Schiller will be next. Rise ball, strike 3 called. Migliavaca down on strikes for the 2nd time. And Jack Besgrove is in double digits. Boy, nice replay work by our friends from Softball Premier TV. You can really see Jack Besgrove completely extended on that delivery. Rise ball up. Here's Jordan Solorio, who came on in place of the injured Blake Milheim. So strikeouts in double digits for Besgrove. That's 4 in a row. Rise ball stays upstairs. Way inside, almost hit him. Last 2 pitches, looks like Besgrove is overthrown, trying to put a little extra velocity on it. He's getting enough movement and velocity out of the regular ones, but you can see it in the delivery. Beautiful pitch just off the outside edge, missing away. So Solorio works the walk. That breaks the string of 4 consecutive strikeouts. 6 batters in a row had been set down by Besgrove. Jack has done all you could ask a pitcher to do tonight. But now with a difficult task of facing Cam Schiller with a tying run at first base. Misses way away, up and away. Nick Mullen's going to go out and talk to him. I suspect that'll be a short discussion. Don't overthrow, probably, is all he's saying, and back to home plate he comes. Besgrove has been superb all night long. He's in mid-season form here at the start of the 2024 season. But it's a long game. Sometimes you need a little reminder. Just do what you can do best. There's a good hard rise ball fouled away by Schiller. Part of the order for the Drillers. This is the part of the batting order they want to see coming up with a runner aboard. Schiller lays off the rise, misses away. So the count 2-1 on Cam Schiller. Marshall Cronk will be next. Swing and a miss on the rise ball by Schiller. Good velocity, good location. Muller setting up away from the lefty. Two balls, two strikes. Schiller choking up on the bat just a bit. High hopper. Besgrove is going to take it himself. Runs and steps on the bag, then gets out of the way. I think he saw Schiller running down the line, realized he wouldn't have time to make the toss. So Malarczuk alertly gets out of the way, and Besgrove tags the bag and makes the out. Watch the replay. He was far enough down towards first base, it was easier to step on the bag than try and make a tag. But a visit from skipper Greg Leather. We'll see what's going on here, whether they might want to put Marshall Cronk on. I think that'll be the discussion. One of the best power hitters in the game. One of the best clutch hitters in the game. Do they want to give him an opportunity to beat them or to tie the game? And it looks like they're going to pitch to him. Maybe that wasn't the discussion. I suspect it was. Called strike in. Speaking as a former pitcher, Marshall Cronk, not someone that I want to see walking to the plate this time of the game with a runner at second base. Inside rise, comes around with a swing. Not a strike, but had already committed, and the ball really elevating against Cronk. So advantage Besgrove right now, 0-2. And Cronk's going to step out now. Swing and a miss. They tag out Cronk. They'll throw down to first just to make sure of that out. Power on power. Besgrove wins the battle. Side retired. 6 complete in this one. Still the New York Gremlins 1 and the Northeast Drillers 0. We'll be back with the 7th. Right after this, don't go away. We head down the stretch towards the finish line. Top half of the 7th inning, and for the Gremlins, it'll be a pinch hitter. A familiar name and face, Matthew Waugh, will come on in place of Ladislao Malarzuk. On deck, looks like another pinch hitter due. Blake Hunter takes a bat and is in the on-deck circle. So Greg Leather pulling out the stops here, trying to get that insurance run in the 7th. So it's Malarzuk's spot in the order, 8, 9, and 1. That means Hunter would be hitting for Nick Mullen. Hard grounder down to first, but right at Godoy. He'll step on the bag. Out number 1 recorded. Matthew Waugh retired.
Number 12, Blake Hunter.
3 unassisted if you're keeping a scorecard. Blake Hunter will step in as a pinch hitter for Nick Mullins in the 9 spot. Hunter, one of Canada's finest. King of the extra base hit throughout the 2023 season. Had more extra base hits, I think, than he had singles. So lots of pop in that bat, and skipper Greg Leather asking him to show it right here in the 7th. In for a called strike. We talked about Besgrove and the game he's throwing, but other than that first pitch to Retamar to start the game, Martin Gonzalez has been outstanding. Hitting his spots, getting outs when he needed them, and that one's lifted in the infield. It's going to be chased down, but out of real estate is Zara. Zara and Godoy come over to the first base dugout. Shaw and Schiller up the middle have been outstanding defensively for the Drillers, have kept them in the game, making some key plays when they were needed the most. Double play last inning, stellar by Schiller. In for a call, strike 3, and down goes Blake Hunter. Good location by Martin Gonzalez. 2 up and down quickly for the Gremlins.
Number 21, Lucio Redemar.
Which takes us back to the top of the order in the aforementioned Lucio Redemar, the owner of the only RBI in this ball game. Called strike on the outside part of the plate. Good location for Gonzalez to be throwing in. Not a pitch he could go deep with. Could lightning strike twice? Lightning before the storm tomorrow. Just off the plate outside as he nibbles around the edges, something he's done all night long. Solario way off the bag at third base, something down the line. Redemar's looking at a double, maybe a triple if he could get it down there, but it's a slow roller to second. Zach Shaw makes easy work of it over to first base. 3 up and down for the Gremlins. Another quick and easy inning for Martin Gonzalez. To the home half we go. 3 outs away from the win are the Gremlins. 3 chances for the Drillers. We'll be back with the finish of this one right after this. Home half of the seventh inning. What a ball game we have had and have. 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order for the Northeast Drillers. That's Godoy, Underwood, and Zara. Jack Besgrove pitching a whale of a ball game, as he has been doing virtually every time out of late. Double-digit strikeouts, but you can look at those in the box score later and count them up. Right now, he wants 3 outs. I imagine he doesn't care how he gets them. Kuba Osicha, the young pitcher from the Czech Republic, throwing on the Gremlins sideline, but it's the young pitcher in the circle that all eyes are on at the moment. It is his ball game. It's been his ball game all night long. Swing and a miss. Godoy late on that one. Godoy, a strikeout victim in his first trip to the plate, grounded out to the pitcher in his second. Upstairs, taken for a ball. A ball and 2 strikes on Manuel Godoy. Underwood and Zara will be next. Hard grounder foul up along the right side. Strike 3 called. Big roundhouse rise ball from Jack Besgrove.
Number 20, Blake Underwood.
One out in the books. Blake Underwood, the batter for the Drillers. Underwood, a line out to short and a grounder to second. One of the few hitters not to have struck out. There's one in the corner down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Around first on his way to second with a stand-up double is Blake Underwood. That one just landing inside the foul line. Watch it on the replay. Bounces right down the line. And the Drillers have what they want, the tying run in scoring position. And a chance to get even. Here's Juan Zara. So Underwood still not a strikeout victim. Zara in his earlier at-bats, 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. That one gets to the screen, gets past Nick Mullins, who came back into the game after Hunter pinch hit. So over to third now. Tying run just 60 feet away. And you can hear a bit of life in the Driller dugout as they yell encouragement to Juan Zara. Just off the plate, 2 balls. So the Gremlins unable to get the insurance run all game long. Asking Jack Besgrove to get them home. Little grounder foul to third. Remke all over that one. Two balls and a strike to Juan Zara. pop-up. That one's going to be out of play over on the right side, so that will even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gremlins infield in. Besgrove with a 2-2 pitch. Away, taken for a ball, 3-2. Mullins with a good grab. Grounder to third. Remeke goes to the tag, throws across for the out. Remeke's going to argue that he tagged him off the bag. Great defensive play by Remeke either way. He knew exactly what to do. Watch the replay. You see the runner, was he off the bag? Looked like he might have been, and I think that is the call. Double play, great defensive play by Jerome Remeke to end this one. Hard hit ball down to third with a tying run at third base. Remeke reaches out, makes the tag. The runner just off the base, throws over to first, side retired, and preserves for the Gremlins a 1-0 win. A 1-0 game that started with a Lucio Redemar home run to lead off the game. Nothing after that, but great pitching and great defense all game long. Martin Gonzalez, an outstanding effort for the Drillers. And what can you say that hasn't been said about Jack Besgrove? Double-digit strikeouts again, shutout win, and the Gremlins march on. They'll be back tomorrow for 2 more. Remember that it's 11 and 3 o'clock, not 12 and 4. All of the games being moved up by 1 hour to try and get ahead of the weatherman and the predicted rains. For Luciano Lofrano and Softball Premier, we say thank you for another outstanding piece of work. Luciano, the brains, the talent, the tech, everything that goes with it. We thank him for being here. I'm Jim Flanagan on the Gremlins Network. Good night from Port Huron. Gremlins 1-0 winners over the Northeast Drillers. Good night.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now, softballpremiertv.com.